Henshin! Hey everybody, it's me, Retro Kid of Retro Kid Reviews, and I hate to admit this, but I'm gonna have to suspend my hunt for L, Red Hood, and OJ Arsenal here, otherwise now calling themselves Red Hood and Arsenal, just this week, because I want to talk about something I've been told that I need to do I haven't done for quite some time. I'm gonna do a top 10. What is this top 10, some may say? Well, it's a Kamen Rider top 10. I know I haven't really been out a lot of movies lately since it's the fall. I've been told that there might be a next Resident Evil movie, thanks to these two assholes, so, I might hate watch it for the hell of it, and, the word around that it might be the last movie ever, so, yeah, I don't buy it, but who knows. More on that at a later date. Until then, what exactly am I going to review? I'm going to not really review. I'm going to do a top 10. This is the top 10. Wish I had time to do another wallpaper, but trust me, this is a top 10. Top 10 Kamen Riders to watch for first-time fans. So, in case you're wondering, congratulations! You are now officially a Kamen Rider fan, or in any case, a Tokusatsu fan. So, if you are, what kind of the Kamen Rider series should you watch? Well, let's start with number 10, Kamen Rider Forze. Now, truth be told, this was my first series I watched when it was new. Basically, while it was airing in Japan. I can't exactly tell you how. Basically, I'm going to recommend what's called fan sub sites. TV Nihon or Overtime, if I remember correctly. I was mainly going off Overtime subs, and now it's when I was like going through Reviewtopia when I heard about guys like Shades and Easy Rider, mainly through Forze and their live stream of watching Forze as well, and mainly their ending. But for the purposes of this top 10, I'm not going to spoil every single minutia and detail of the series due to the grounds of, one, my history with Forze, and two, just to give you an idea of what kind of series you want to get into. I really think for number 10, I think Forze is a good start if you don't want to get too into Kamen Rider. It's a take it or leave it kind of rider. He's very casual with his storytelling. It's worth it if you just want a casual cut and paste kind of character. Just to get an idea of what a Kamen Rider story really is, just on bare bones. So with that said, on to number 9. 9. Kamen Rider Decade. Now I know a lot of people will probably give me heat saying, "Oh, he's the best rider of that end of the Heisei era." Now, what is Heisei versus Showa? Well, Kamen Rider Decade pretty much proved that both eras would lose if he's in the room, mainly on power set and basically what he can do. The virtual story about Tsukasa, yes, I'm saying his real name character-wise once and for all. I kind of had years of hatred with him too, like everybody else. More specifically, why is there hatred of him? Mainly on the grounds that he pretty much has the most, I want Twilight Kristen Stewart kind of relationship, like blank emotions and stares. I'm gonna have to change my battery real quick for the purposes of this top 10. Be back in a minute. Alright, so for any future reasons, I will apologize for any interruptions for my reasonings of the battery. So with that said, my closing thoughts with Decade, yes, he's gonna have a lot of baggage with the split fandom. One hates it, one doesn't. I'm the one that's kind of in the middle, with like you would be, trying to understand him. If you have a fan favorite rider before watching him, don't, because he will break your world. He will break your rider, and he will destroy it. Mine was Kuga, so clearly not worth it. Immediately not worth it, just to be perfectly honest with you. On to number 8. This particular rider did have a lot of connections when I was fan theory about Decade, that maybe Kiva had something to do with it. And since I already said it, because it's Decade, he's gonna, I guess, spoil half this list. Kamen Rider Kiva. Now, truth be told, Kiva is both time travel and a vampire, which one already sounds like a better story than Twilight, since we're already going by Kristen Stewart jokes. But trust me, there's a lot more going on than just the Rider Belt clearly vampire up. Clearly his extension. I think I guess EX extensions, like how he charges up for a Rider Belt, is probably more than it is. I don't know more about his final forms or anything like that, because truth be told, there are Heisei and Showa series that I haven't seen. More surprisingly, Heisei, if you could believe it. Like the next up, number 8, Kamen Rider 5s. Due to many things, I'm gonna have to again have one last final moment of silence for the actor who passed in Kamen Rider 5s. With that said, I will say I do remember that he was the writer in Paradise Lost, and with a fun fact, the reason why I mentioned Paradise Lost, that was a lot of Heisei writers in 5s, even prior, didn't immediately have a movie war. They didn't immediately cross over with the successor writer. They just had their own standalone what-if kind of concept, like the show prior to this, Ryuki, like, what if the final episode ended this way, because I think at the time the ratings were going down or something like that. That's what the fandom was saying, and I think I'm thinking the same thing too. I don't exactly know. But what is 5s? Let's start with Ixa. If you've been following my Tumblr, you know that Ixa Day happened. It's technically a fake holiday in this particular Kamen Rider fandom that we dedicated an entire fake holiday to, at the time, the true a-hole of a-hole writers before Decade showed up. And if you see the series, you're gonna know why. He has the creepiest smile of any J-drama or any anime you probably have ever seen. I've seen it live when I was trying to view the series. It's really funny, to be honest with you. Both these writers have forms, not just 5s. Good reasoning. It's dark, like 90s writers like Shin, Zeto, and Jay, but I don't want to say lenient, like balanced, very balanced. Now on to my number 6, Kamen Rider Wizard. And here's why I stayed in the fandom, more specifically in Kamen Rider's case. After Forze, I thought that this fandom was getting more kid-friendly. I thought this was like close to being Haim Saban levels of adaptation, and there's no hope. There was literally no hope. And here's this writer, Haruto, who brought me out of the darkness, got me some hope, and kept me going. And more on that in the series itself. I've done reviews in the past. I'll throw cards up on that. As much as I would love to throw cards on everybody's reviews, I'm going to unfortunately leave links down below. If not, I'm going to probably make a custom playlist. Again, if that's already been done, I'm going to put a card right up there as well. Now, with that said, on to the series himself. What hasn't been said that I've already been said about Wizard? He's probably he is a magic writer. He's very magic. He's very ring-based. He's a ring-bearing wizard. His story is very tragic at the beginning. It's very reasoned, very a good reason why he's a tragic kind of character, but he's humble. He's humble with what he has, and it's very worth watching. I don't remember any gifs or memes in case you want to know the funny side of it, because there is a funny side, because he's very middle into Neo Heisei, so there are jokes very later on, so don't worry. It's not like incredibly dark if you're worried. I recommend the series full-heartedly since the ending, and everyone gave bad heat over Infinity, that it was too jewel-crested, and he didn't really have like a really very good complete form. I like his complete form. I think it was worth it. The sword axe was definitely a very good axe combo. I bought Chaser's axe because if you've been watching my channel for a while, I will take anything with an axe, tokusatsu wise. And flutes or any magic devices are pretty much a thermal nuke, so I'm kind of weird. On to now the final five. Keep in mind, the next five, I personally believe, in my humble opinion, will make you a tokusatsu fan. Will make you, if it doesn't make you a tokusatsu fan, I humbly believe that at the very least you can understand that these are good stories, that these are definitely worth the sit, and if not, I tried, and I welcome you at least the opportunity to try. That's it. So here we go. Number four. Sorry, number five. Getting my head myself. I'm really this nervous. Kamen O's. Again, this is a series I saw before I got into the fandom, if you can believe that. I saw the final episode when it was new, and I could see the emotion, the drive, the energy of O's, but for 4 years, maybe now going on 5, I've been wanting to go back on the series, and I want to know more on AG and everybody in between, and I want to know Birth, I want to know Dante, I want to know these characters, I want to get behind a lot of these motivations and reasonings why, and also to say the best thing to ever say to a person on a birthday, Subarashi! Yeah, it's a meme of its own. It became its own meme overnight. If you're a Tokusatsu fan and you said that to somebody at their birthday or on their Facebook, I have my apologies in advance if I had over the last 4 years. Blame this series. Just blame this series full-heartedly for that. But believe me, it's worth the sit. It is the series to watch. Also, that general who says happy birthday a lot is beyond bonkers. He's beyond crazy and loves Apple products, surprisingly. He loves Steve Jobs. He's probably working on raising him back from the dead, for all I know. He's that crazy. More on that if you watch the series. Again, TV Nihon overtime subs for all of these writers, not just what I've been recommending so far. All of these writers have TV Nihon and overtime subs. And now to the final 4. Keep in mind, these are shows I did not expect I would love at first. These were shows that got me back into this genre and that got me liking it immediately. Kamen Rider Gaim. These were writers I thought at first would break me. When news were coming out about the fruit dancing, the West Side Story plots, and you saw, if anyone remembers my Hitler video, you know that I didn't take it lightly. That I thought it was gonna suck like everybody else. But then it flipped the script. It turned into both Madoka anime and like Game of Thrones levels betrayal to the highest order. And we're not just talking about Michi over here. No. I know I spoiled a little bit, but the betrayals just get deeper and deeper from there. And it turns from what becomes a simple kid's show into, like, something bigger than what it already should be. And Gaim might be the last hurrah of that kind of storytelling. But, again, I don't believe that. I really don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. Because this is Kamen Rider. It can turn 180 within seconds with whatever or whoever is show running at any particular writer. I really don't believe it. Movies-wise, maybe, because it's a bad movie and you can live with it. So, the final 3. Again, I'm literally shaking. I compare off character-wise. I'm trying to hold the toy as long as I can. Here we go. Oh, shit. Kamen Rider Double. This was, finally, like, the one Heisei era show that got me interested in going back and trying to get into the history of the series, or trying to get into the history of at least Heisei, and walk my way through Showa, then walk my way through the history of the series. This was pretty much the AK-47 of Kamen Riders for me. This was the one that really, really got me into figuring out everybody in between, and yet at the same time, I could recommend it to a first-time fan if you don't want, like, a kid-friendly approach, but yet still want, like, an anime, hardcore, bombastic kind of storytelling, and you want to be, thrilled with a very good conclusion, and Double can definitely do that. Its movies does not disappoint. I'm currently watching Eternal Returns, and no joke, it's pretty much like it's pretty much MGS5. It's the Phantom Pain of Kamen Rider. I'm not even kidding, and it's beyond awesome. It also has overtime and TV Nihon subs. I thoroughly recommend Double. I have the figure art for years. You've seen him on my channel. Why aren't you watching this? So yeah, the last two. It was hard making the last two for this top 10. It really was. So number 2 is gonna come with some heat, and I loved this series, and the heat didn't need to be needed, to be honest with you. First of all, yes, it's Kamen Kuga, and the new hero, the new legend, Godai Yusuke. I thoroughly enjoyed this man's story, front to back. There is no denying that this was a story that was needed for the new legend of Kamen Riders to even start the Heisei era, no less. But the reason why it has baggage is that this year the actor who plays Godai Yusuke lost his child. And for months I've been sitting on it and sitting on it and sitting on it and sitting on it. And to him I say this. Thank you. Thank you for taking the piece that you need, and thank you for understanding that I'm in a stupid little acting toy mode, but believe me, I honored your piece, I honored your time and participation, but I've done what I could. Now, I'm going to mourn his child's loss, and then I'm going to get to talking about how amazing his acting and his portrayal of Godai Yusuke is. Godai Yusuke is the first Heisei era writer of the series, and it is an essential show. It is a definitive Kamen Rider show to watch. It has TV Nihon, Midnight Subs Crew. I think overtime for a while. It got resubbed, I think, with TV Nihon later down the road when there was a Blu-ray run for this series. He never got a movie because it was new at the time, and character-wise he came back for Decade, and it wasn't worth it. Character-wise, it was a completely different Decade. It was an alternate universe, and I don't think of him as my Decade. I always will think Godai Yusuke as my Kuga. I will always think of that, and I can't. I know that's favoritism, but I just can't. Anyway, with that long-winded baggage, let me just finish with my number 1, and hopefully figure out how to edit this, because, wow, this is getting longer than I thought. Okay. Number 1. I wish I could recap, but believe me, this is already longer than it already should be. It's pretty much black, but it's both black and RX. I recommend both these shows because it's summing up one man, Kotaro Miyami Kotaro. He is pretty much the end-all be-all Showa era writer, and he is the last of the Showa era writers. If you want to see a man go through hell and back to defend a city, nay, the world, and take down both Golem and Shocker plots at the same time, yeah, that is a meme. Believe me, it's funnier than it sounds. He goes through hell and back. He becomes a century king. He becomes the child of the sun. He becomes more than just what he is, and yeah, just because he only has like 4 forms and not even a complete, and like he only gets heat for like being old, and Tyson GP sucks. When I saw him henshin in Tyson GP, it just made me forget that I'm watching a bad movie. I'm seeing Kotaro Minami again. That's all I have to say. I recommend him. His subs are hard to find. Century Kings normally does black. I don't know who does black RX. You're gonna have to either scrounge off of Facebook or YouTube. It's really hard to find RX subs. It's extremely hard. I wish I could tell you where. It's extremely hard. But if you can find any sub with RX that isn't poorly subbed, or the font is off with with Bio Rider's weapons or even Robo Rider's weapons, do it and recommend it to me and recommend it to anybody, because this is a rider that is 8 times, hell, 10 times better than Prince Dex and Furbus. Hi, Dan Rants. So with a lot of Toku heat, not gonna lie, this is Retro Kid of Retro Kid Reviews, and this is my top 10 Kamen Riders for first time fans. Take care, and long ago, 20th century, this man was awesome. Later.